and the blessings be upon each and every member of our listening audience. Welcome once again to Balance Matters. Before I get going on my monologue tonight, I have some in-house reading of 2 weeks of magic. Imagine 2 weeks of magic. We're going to have a series, and I read to you tonight the event series. December 6th, Saturday, Magical Minds Mastermind Summit, beginning at 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Magical Minds Mastermind Summit, Saturday the 6th of December. A morning of magic, the Magic of Bermuda 2025 Awards Gala, to be held Sunday, 7th of December, time 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Taste the Magic afternoon, cooking demo with trendy chef and Chef Richard Zool. Tuesday, December 9th, time 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live streamed. Taste the Magic, evening cooking class with trendy chef and Chef Richard Zool. Tuesday, December 9th, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. live streamed. Motivation by Magic, How to Hijack Reality School Tour, 10 to the 12th of December. 10th to the 12th of December. Time to be confirmed. Motivation by Magic, How to Hijack Reality School Tour, 10th to the 12th of December. Time to be confirmed. How to Hijack Reality book signing, Monday, December the 15th, Tuesday, December the 16th. Time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lastly, How to Hijack Reality Fireside Chat, December the 11th on Thursday at Bermuda National Library. How to Hijack Reality Fireside Chat, Thursday, the 11th of December at the Bermuda National Library. That's our event series that will go on for 2 weeks of magic. Now that homework is out of the way, the great poet, the extraordinaire that I call her, Maya Angelou, reminds us in one of her extraordinary writings, and she says, very simply, that we are more alike than we are unalike. We are more alike than we are unalike. That gets my juices flowing. As families, we are more alike than unalike. With teenage pregnancies, children dropping out of school before graduation day, As families, we're more alike than unalike. Children become difficult to deal with, sometimes being threatened to be expanded out of school, getting in trouble where police are involved and called to the school to deal with them. We have children who are more alike than unalike. We are more alike than unalike. We have children that would say they know they were given good guidance, but because of their choices, they chose another path other than that which was in their best interest. And they end up creating some disaster in their lives and spending a little time behind bars, Westgate facility, the farm facility, the facility for young adults. Our children are more alike than unalike. We have failure in marriages. We have failure in relationships when it comes around to friendships and working relationships, because havoc and cause us to get a bad record early in life that makes things a little difficult for the up-and-coming individual. Hence, they end up having a fractured young life because of making bad judgment. As individuals, we are more alike than unalike. We disappoint the family, we embarrass the family with some of the habits that we seem to display publicly, knowing that we know better and we're raised better. But we choose not to be accountable or responsible. We are more alike than unalike. We have very accomplished children that make us feel proud, that show their potential and make us feel as though we always knew they could do it as long as they put the mind to it and commit to themselves, that they have a responsibility and accountability and do the best they can. They make us feel proud. Our children are more alike than unalike. We have young people representing Bermuda, which we described as punching well beyond our weight. Young people going to the British Parliament and speaking at the lectern, speaking so well that they gave her extra time at the lectern, making Bermuda proud, coming from a public school, not private. Success story, if you ever heard one, if you want to give credit where credit's due. Knowing how the young 16-year-old represented herself, representing Bermuda, you would think that she has a great future in politics, knowing how well she managed herself. Our young people are more alike than unalike. We have young people that are complaining about the difficulties of the hypocrisies that they're seeing in society and want to know why is it that we say one thing and do other than what we say as adults. And they tell us that they can't respect us with that type of inconsistency and misrepresentation, knowing that the ones that they trusted in or trust in is not doing what's best, as being a model or a role model, an example for the young people to follow. Us as adults making and having to be questioned, making decisions and having to be questioned by these very intelligent young people as to why we are so inconsistent in our hypocritical tendencies and what we do as adults, as parents, as neighbors, as members of our community, be it religious community, be it us having our cultural communities. We're more alike than unalike. Our children, they're smart enough to figure things out, and they're saying they are having difficulty understanding what this society is giving them as a result as to the inconsistencies of individuals, regardless of what nationality we come from, what community we come from, what religion we come from. Our children have got more questions than answers in today's world because of the inconsistencies that they are experiencing in assessing us. We are more alike than unalike. Tonight, I would like for us to put a focus on our perceptions. It has been said by experienced social scientists, and I've given a lot of my attention to a great leader by the name of Imam W. Dean Muhammad. He's written a book, Islam's Climate for Business Success. Islam's Climate for Business Success. And one of the chapters that he deals with in this particular booklet, the common person dealing with perceptions. And I find that he points to something that, without a doubt, if we open our mind and see for what it's worth, we would learn and benefit from it. So I'm going to go right at it. Excuse me if I go a little extended time, but the value of this topic, and because of how I feel about how much we are more alike than unalike, I'm very excited to want to have exchange with you, dear listening audience, as it relates to this topic in the monologue for tonight. It has been said by experienced social scientist Imam W. D. Muhammad, and I quote, "The lifestyle and its burden on the individual person today and the demand on individuals' attention today make it very difficult, very, very difficult for any individual to be in a situation to get help." And I'm going to repeat that because of the value of that. The lifestyle and its burden on the individual person today and the demand on the individual's attention today make it very, very difficult for any individual to be in a situation to get help. This is a time that is described in the scripture in these words, and I quote, No soul will be able to help another in any degree. It's written in Scripture, and I quote, to recognize the state of affairs of people today. It's been described, the period that we're in today has been described with these words, and I quote, no soul will be able to help another in any degree, end quote. No matter how much we try to help our friends or our own relatives, it looks like we are just wasting our time and their time when they are in that bad situation. No matter how much we try to help our friends or our own relatives, and I'm pretty sure you can relate to that, dear listening audience. It looks like we are just wasting our time and their time when they are in that bad situation that we recognize. Reflecting on this, we shouldn't feel let down when we call the community or the public to a solution and they give us very little or no attention in response when we call them to these situations. And we're calling them to address solutions to these situations. They give us no attention. But this is not just only in the public. This is not just only in the community. We have family members. When we discuss the issues that are of concern, we don't listen to each other, to the point where sometimes we think that we're wasting our time, even though the matters are very important, but we don't seem to be accepting responsibility in a serious way. Most of us don't respond at home with each other. So why should we be disappointed if they don't respond when we call them in the public? These are the times that we're living in. Dear listening audience, I couldn't have found no better words to have us to be reminded of how important it is for us to try and make sense of how to manage ourselves in dealing with matters of concern. As long as there are humble, caring, good-hearted people with good intentions, as long as there are morally accountable people hanging around, gradually, sooner or later, we will have change coming up about, and perceptions of people will change. So I'm encouraged, and I'm calling out to those who are giving of themselves in any way they are. Those of you who sincerely want to address and be a part of meaningful change. Because if we're not seeing the conditions that's a threat to us as a society, as a community, as a public, as a family, if we're not willing to want to be upfront and honest about what needs to change, then it's worse than what we would like to promote. As long as there are humble, caring, good-hearted people with good intentions, as long as there are morally accountable people hanging around, holding on, gradually, a change is coming about in the people's, will come about in the people's perception. They'll start looking at things different when they start seeing us because of our consistency and best representation. For people with problems, bad situations, to make changes, they have to change the way they perceive things. For a people with problems, for a people with bad situations, to make changes, they have to change the way they perceive things. For me, that picture can't be painted no prettier. These words are painting a beautiful picture in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind, and I'm pretty sure you out there who mean well, I know you, something's happening with you as well, and I'm hoping that you will let us know that before the night is out. Most poor people are suffering because they don't have jobs or they don't have adequate jobs. The jobs they have are not enough to take care of them. Others who are unemployed are not even bothered. And that is why they are not employed. I'm going to read that again. Most people are suffering because they don't have jobs or they don't have adequate jobs. The jobs they have are not enough to take care of them. Others who are unemployed are not even bothered, and that is why they are not employed. Those who are bothered by not being employed, in time, they are going to be employed. We have to try to reach those who are not bothered by their situation of unemployment. I believe that many of us who are now very much alive and active and productive were at some time just like many out there who are not even bothered by their situation. I put my hand up. I had my moments out there. I had my challenges at one time as a young person. I didn't talk about it much. In fact, I didn't talk about it at all. I just kept it quiet from within. I wasn't a guy that never had a job or that I should have had one, or wasn't inspired to want to have a job. No, but I had my challenges as it relates to where I should go and who I should go to. I believe that many of us who are now very much alive, active, very much productive, were at some time just like many out there who are not even bothered by their situation. We changed when something came to our awareness in the form of a message. I put my hand up again. I came across some ideas and some encouraging views and some active minds and some people who had confidence in themselves and saw themselves willing and able to want to do for themselves. I was encouraged by that group of people. We changed when something came to our awareness in the form of a message. Our whole mental disposition was changed. It gave us a new way of looking at things. That kind of help does not come instantly. Now, that's something that made me feel good last week. By the time I got to hear my lovely counselor, my wife at home, last week, after she saw my face in a certain state, she had to comfort me. And much like a counselor, she gave good advice. And by the time the next morning, I was able to relax and make sense of what I heard last week, Tuesday night. I was excited at the fact that we had new voices I called. And these new voices, they were giving us information that was saying they're not only looking at trying to help other people, they had experience that says they have a process that they could relate to the public and have people to see that if we strategize, if we go about schooling ourselves, informing ourselves, analyzing what's going on around us, finding out where the business world is going and where the labor market is going, we could plan our future by knowing what's needed in the community. I heard that from a caller last week. I believe it was the first call of the night, where he said he was down at Tynes Bay for a while. He got to see what was going on at Tynes Bay, went and educated himself, was able to come back and get a job at Tynes Bay for 5 years. And then he went on to do his own business later on. But he was able to assess when Tynes Bay opened up down there. He knew what Tynes Bay was doing and what direction Tynes Bay was going. And he went and schooled himself, came back to Bermuda, and landed a job at Tynes Bay and stayed there for 5 years before he moved on to higher ground. His ability to manage his affairs according to his surroundings proved to be very, very strategic and successful. That's only one idea. That's only one experience. We changed when something came to our awareness in the form of a message. Our whole mental disposition was changed. It gave us a new way of looking at things. That kind of help does not happen instantly. It doesn't come instantly. Dear listening audience, please take the value of that. The help that we're trying to project and the discussions that we're trying to evolve and elevate and encourage us to question and look down certain paths and have us to hear and understand what we're trying to say and do and where we're trying to go. We will not get those solutions instantly. The help that we're looking for is not going to come instantly. It comes over a period of time of being exposed to a particular sensitizer, which can be the Word of God, or it may be something else. However, we have to be sensitized by something. If we're in need of something, many times we can't get it from ourselves. We have to make contact with something else. The quickest answer I can give for making change. The change that we should be wanting in our lives is to make a change in the way we look at things. Dear listening audience, I'm so enthralled with this concept. I have to read that part again because of the value of this perspective. The kind of help that we're looking for does not come instantly. It comes over a period of time of being exposed to a particular sensitizer, which can be the Word of God or it can be something else. However, we have to be sensitized by something. The quickest answer I can give for making change, the change that we should be wanting in our lives, is to make a change in the way we look at things. The learned, they say that perception is all senses operating together. The common person thinks of perception perhaps as perceiving or seeing something with our eyes. That is perception. But the more complete meaning of perception and the richest meaning is that one which combines all senses together. What we need is mental perception. Perception to dawn in the mind and become clear for us in the mind. Many things affect perception, and perception affects all things for the individual. Now, this writer is suggesting that what we need is a mental perception. Perception to dawn in the mind. Now, reflect on what the dawn of the day does. The dawn of the day is what? It's the first light that comes after darkness, right? Darkness, you can't see too well. You can't move around too well in the dark. If you want to move around in the dark, you have to put on some light. So the minute the light of day comes into being, we are encouraged to become active. So the idea of having perception is the beginning of activity in the mind and become clear for us in the mind. When we can use the light of stimulation, motivation, insightfulness, good ideas, the light of new concepts, ideas that you may not have been aware of before, but because they're new now, newly presented at this point in time in our lives, it would be wise for us to understand the meaning of these new things that we are being confronted with. One of the assets, or two of the assets, that this writer gives us to reflect on as I complete my thought for the night. The two valuable assets is faith and trust. Support from faith is the answer. Support from faith is the answer. If we're looking for solutions to our major problems, become a person that institutes faith. I'm pretty sure some of us have heard faith can move mountains. If you just have faith, you can move mountains. If you just had faith, you could accomplish and do so much of what you want to do. If you have faith, you can accomplish and do so much of what you want to do. We need a conditioning to favor us having faith. To conclude the idea and the perspective of faith, they say when you use the word faith, you could interchange that word faith with trust. When you could trust in the things that you have confidence in and believe in and understand that will work in your favor, and you could implement the things that is intended to get you the results that you so desperately are seeking, you could go forward with the insightful mind, the new mind, that mind of clarity after being sensitized by something. And once we are concerned and really want to do something for ourselves, those who are bothered by not having the needs that we should have, we never stop until we achieve them. And the individual who sincerely wants to be the best they could be, to find out what it is that they need to achieve in order to accommodate and be productive and progressive in their concepts and in their ideas. Trust in where you're trying to go. Trust in being sincere. Having a good heart. Being a caring person. Being a humble person. Being a morally upright person. When God sees you having good intentions, just like he's done with many, many people in time gone by, the individual today, when he has or she has needs that they can't satisfy, the Creator puts information, puts people, puts ideas, puts assets in front of you for you to have and get help from. I could say that without reservation or hesitation. Dear listening audience, perception. If we want to change and be more accomplished as an individual, as a family, as a neighborhood, as a community, as relates to our cultural background, community as in neighborhood. If we really want to do something for the good, we can achieve these things if we have trust and faith in how and why we should want to do these things. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. We are more alike than unalike. I am so taken up by what this message is really saying, because so much of it has been lived out long before I got to hear these wise words put in front of us for us to put our hands on if and when we want better for ourselves. There is much available to us when we want better for ourselves. But we cannot ignore the fact that some of us are in our difficulty because of how little we want for ourselves. We can't take the position of being a victim or blaming someone for mistreating anymore. It's been too much time going by for us to put the blame on someone else on how we've ended up in life. And I think about the success story that comes along with being true to thyself. I'm one of my children's birthday today, December the 2nd. And he gave me a good feeling just hearing him when I contacted him and wished him the best day that he could have on his birthday. By the time my son finished talking to me, I called him the counselor. He was counseling me. The way he was talking, I was taking notes. I certainly was. And I told him, honestly, I'll be taking some of the advice that I'm gleaning from your conversation you're having with me today. He laughed. He had a good laugh at that. And I told him I was damn serious. I wasn't joking. So I went on to tell him how I was feeling about a few things. And as I'm talking to you, dear listening audience, if you want to intervene, please do so. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. He heard me express a perspective. And he said, man, Pop, you wouldn't believe that just a matter of hours ago, he says, I was moving from one room to the next in his apartment. And he said he started calling his ancestors' names. He called my parents' name. He called my wife's parents' name. And he never got to meet my dad. My dad had long passed before he was born. So by the time he finished talking to me, he said he couldn't get over the idea of him having the benefits of what he calls a good home life. He says he's celebrating what he now sees as such a great gift he got from being raised in the family that he was raised in. He says, I couldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for Grandpa and Grandmas. He says, you became who you became because of who you seem to have drawn from, Pop. When I got to hear about Ebenezer Woodley, he says, He said, I got to see you. When I get to understand how you were with your dad and your mom, I see why you ended up like you did. And vice versa, he says. At this stage of his life, he's no longer fumbling like he was, because to give you an idea of the type of person I'm talking about, he spent time in jail. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be afraid, wouldn't be minding me saying that if he wanted to make himself available in some form or another. I'm pretty certain he wouldn't mind me having to say that, because he's saying he's now drawing from the mistakes that he made in his life, because he remembers the type of advice that he got after he made these mistakes. He went on to tell me he remembers something that he told me that I told him in 2008. I said, oh my gracious. And he gave me verbatim what I told him. He says, Pop, I was shocked to know how you talked about yourself. He said, I was surprised to know what you told me about yourself, man. He said, I never forgot that, man. You were so open and willing to get me to see a side of you that I don't think I would have ever seen if you didn't tell me. So he says, those types of moments today are helping me, because I'm recognizing what I didn't do that allowed me to slip and slide. He says, I got good advice, but I made bad judgment. He said, I didn't always believe in myself. I didn't understand my own value, he told me. I'm saying this, dear listening audience, because we are more alike than unalike. You have this in your family, dear listening audience. You have this in your children. We have it in our families. To thine own self be true. Let us be willing to want to talk about what it is. Look, we can't be around here wearing the face mask of shame because our children make some mistake in life and find themselves on the other side of the law because they faulted. As long as they can be honest about what it is that they done, and hopefully that they didn't hurt someone else doing it, I pray to God that that's not the case. But when it does happen, I pray to God that whoever finds themselves hurting another individual will find a way to redress that, find the error of their ways, seek forgiveness, turn away from what is shameful and hurtful, and thereafter be upright and decent. We're not going to hold ourselves without room for forgiveness. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. Dear listening audience, we are more alike than unalike as individuals, as families, as communities. The ethnic community, the types of things that's come along with our history. We have information that is in front of us and ready and able for us to utilize if we really want to do better for ourselves. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. This is a time described as people not being able to look out for each other because we're not in a listening mood to take from one another. Now, how many of us are going to be willing to say yes to that? How many of us know for a fact that we have people in our midst that's hurting our heart every day because of the condition that they're in, the state of mind that they're in? And we have a good reason to believe that things can be better if we only put a better effort in wanting to be accountable. But how willing are we to say this? Are we able to say this and expand upon the conversation that's going to have us to see that we can make steps towards improving the state of mind of our young people if we change the way we are looking at things? The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. We have 6 minutes. It's 8:24. I thought that we would have an inspiration because of these wonderful words that has been lifted off the print. See, I'm one of those people. I'm not gonna be unwilling to point to where these ideas and concepts are coming from. It's important that we understand that we have minds that's working on our behalf. We have perspectives that, according to the time that we're in, we have concepts to address the times that we're in. Caller, you're on Balance Matters.
How are you, my brother?
I'm thankful, man.
Wow.
I'm thankful, man.
Wonderful.
Yes. Hello? Caller? Strange. He's going, hello? That caller, try, if there's anyone that's near the caller that just called in, try again. Got cut off. Caller, you on Balance Matters?
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, but it's good. You're coming in clear now.
Wonderful.
Good.
What I want to say is, I really like that talk tonight, the monologue tonight. And at the end of it, what I came to in conclusion is the only thing I can add to what the inspiration that you presented.
Yes.
Was for us as individuals to concentrate on a word called justice as the end result, what we're really looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can do that, we can first of all guarantee that we mistreat no one, subjugate no one, oppress no one, dominate no one. No one, guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, guarantee that you help the persons that need help the most. Guaranteed. I think if we can focus on those specifics or producing justice and be constructive in our approach to doing that, it'll give us some direction on what we can ultimately want to end up as a society and as, a way of living which is what humans should be trying to become, more just.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. Yes.
I if you allow me, because I like the idea. There is no peace without justice, right? I love that idea.
Yes. How can that be?
I'm hearing something in the background, like a echo or something like that. It's okay. That's better. Whatever's going on. Cool. That's good. That's better. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I think about, man, while you were talking, I was looking at how would I use that term justice to have it relevant to what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
And right away, what came to my spirit is, as I sow, so shall I reap. Whatever I put in, I deserve to get equal back. Whatever it is that I put in, what they say, every action is equal and opposite reaction. When it comes around to us giving of ourselves in any form, whatever that form is, it could be intellectual, it could be physical, it could be just an idea. And even today, man, I got huge success out of just thinking a certain way. And the more I thought a certain way, my own son was giving me guidance. He didn't know he was giving it to me. Based on how I was thinking, God blessed him to say something to me that gave me more than what I was looking for, man. And when I told him what was the concepts that I was getting from him, he was shocked. And he then goes to say, man, it took me a long time, Pop, for me to get to understand my own value, man. That's what he said. I said, but when that guy said that, I said, his value on his way now, man.
Yes, that's very profound. And
his value on his way.
Yes.
So, why I say that, I haven't yet said that I gave him anything when it comes around to something tangible. I've been giving him all my life. At one time, I told him I'm giving so much, I ain't giving him no more because he seems to be abusing what I'm giving him. So until he values what I'm giving him, I'm not giving him no more. I told him straight up, and I meant it. Now, it took him a while. This guy's up in age. He calls me up and says, hey, Pop, I need to tell you, man. It took me a while to get to hear what you wanted me to hear, you know. And I see now how I messed up. Now, where is he getting the justice that he so deserves? Within his own spirit. Without anybody else being involved. He's now taking introspection. And because I know what that means, because I've been through that myself, I said, boy, I know exactly what this young man is going through with him saying what he's saying, because I've been there, done that. So he reminds me. He says, Pop, I remember what you told me in 2008. And when he told me, I just started laughing. He says, man, I never thought you would be so brutally honest about who you really were, man. He says, that's stuff.
Brutally honest.
Brutally honest.
that I really like that.
Yeah, he said he couldn't get over. He says, when I was talking to him in 2008, he couldn't get over how I talked about myself. And he knew that I wasn't giving him some pretty picture to look at, you know. That's why we are more alike than unalike. It's just stimulating me tonight, man. Because us as human beings, man, regardless of what went wrong, regardless of what picture we could draw about something that's unacceptable, there is another person out there that's no different. But he found a way through it. And he's got a good story to tell. And he's not to be looked at as a wretched person. It just happens to be an experience that we can learn from and thereafter be upright. So justice, my soul has been given justice. Why? I now decided to treat it the way it's worth. I don't need nobody else to be involved, man. And knowing where I'm trying to go, nobody can stop me, boy. Nobody. Now, I say that to say that's what I felt coming into this studio. I'm hoping that we could be honest enough to want to at least know what does these types of things suggest to us, man. Because I'm not talking about me. I'm saying we are more alike than unalike. There are people out there better than me right now, bro. It's just that we're got to be willing to want to put it on the table so our children can hear it, so they could see we could deal with this stuff. Why? Because we're being true to each other, man. My dear brother, thank you for allowing me to interrupt you. Are you still there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm still here. I wanted to make that point clear.
Okay.
I just have I understand your point of view.
Yes.
I just think there's other points of view out there.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of points of view out there, man.
Yeah,
I'm begging for us to share them.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying you say we're all alike. What we're alike is that we're all different.
We're more alike than unalike. I didn't say that we're all alike. No.
Well, that's I'm in agreement. I'm just saying that to look at it from the point of view of what makes us all alike or more alike is the fact that each one of us have a DNA which is different. We're in a machine that affects each one of those DNAs differently, and our responses to those activities give us a different perspective. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that we can't have a unifying way of life or way of thinking or solving problems. If I may, a gentleman stopped me the other day when I was walking. He was on his bike. I'd never seen him before. He rode past. He turned around. He must have recognized me. He came back, and he uttered one group of words. He said, "Question everything." At some time in the past on your show, we had a discussion, and I made that statement, and he remembered. And that's all he said. That's all he had to say to let me know that the process of question and answer solves all problems if we have the patience to ask enough questions. So when I look at the world situation which you described and the control of that world system as opposed to the particular individual symptoms of this problem, helps us to understand that it's much more than just a personal problem that needs to be resolved. It's also religious, like you said. It's political. It's a total system, if I may.
Yes.
If you take a mill machine, right, it's designed specifically for a purpose, cutting grass, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's well made, the parts are made to do the job that needs to be done.
Yes.
When I talk about the system of white supremacy, I'm talking about a similar machine, if you can imagine it as a machine, with human parts, with human behavior, human cliches, features which cause a certain behavior as a result of stimulation from the culture which is dominating. It's not a just culture. It's an unjust culture. Whether you're talking about economics, whether you're talking about education, whether you're talking about entertainment, any aspect of your life, religion, there's all sorts of injustices throughout every activity in our lives. And we need to be aware of the machinery that's taking place on a daily basis to have the right frame of mind to counteract what is actually the reality that we're in. It's much more complicated than, well, somebody stepped to my toe, how I'm going to deal with it, or how should I not deal with it. It's understanding the whole, rather than label any individual or any particular acts of injustices. I want to understand why it occurred in the first place. Where did the mentality come from? Who controls the mentality that influences people's behavior in a certain way, one way or the other? And, so I want to understand. That's a psychiatrist in me, I guess, rather than label and then prove that the label that I have placed on a certain thing can only be resolved through some activity of mine, with the person not even understanding that they are a victim of a much larger system of influence.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that I agree with you having your personal point of view is very strong and very logical, but I think it lacks critical questions that we need, or we can use the answers to those questions, which are never asked, to understand what's really going on. That will help in the change of our behaviors once we understand the situation that we're in. If you're in a losing game and your strategy is failure, perhaps if we understood the game better, we could change the strategy to counteract the damage that's being done to us at the present time. That's my take on the whole situation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. And I'll say this before you go off, but you said just now, if you're in a losing game, I think it's very critical to know what game you're in. I'm definitely not in a losing game. So I feel pretty good to know that. Thank you very kindly, my dear brother, for your contribution.
Welcome,
have the rest of a great evening.
Yes, please call in, Paul.
Yes, thank you very much. Have the rest of a great evening.
And you too.
Calling you on Balance Matters.
Hey, good evening, Brother Cromwell.
Hey, good evening to you too, my brother.
Hey, listening to that very powerful monologue.
Yes.
I had to sit back and digest that. It was certainly something to revisit. When you talk about perception and changing our perception.
Yes.
And listening to your situation or experience with your son, clearly there's some evolution taking place.
Yes.
And what it did for me was help me to remember the importance of our elders.
Yes.
With respect to our perception. Because oftentimes now, there's a lot of noise in the community. When I say noise, I mean a lot of distraction.
Yes.
Social media, music, entertainment, the whole like.
Yes.
And it doesn't allow us to penetrate our thoughts where we begin to listen to ourselves. Because what I also got from the passage that you read, it's about faith and trust and belief in what it is that you've been given and what it is that you come across.
Yes.
Unfortunately, and the brother was right previously, the circumstances around us doesn't allow us to listen to ourselves, to listen to one another, to believe in what's been given to us.
Yes.
And so we dismiss it.
Yes.
But it requires a level of, again, humility and discipline, as you pointed out.
Yes.
So that we can become comfortable and have the faith to move forward. So what is faith? How do we identify it? From a spiritual standpoint, it has nothing to do with physical sight. It has to do with belief moving forward, taking the action that you believe one day you will reach that destiny wherever you're trying to go. Now, I reflect on our elders, our ancestors, from where they have come. 400 years of slavery. One day they believed that they would be free, that we would be free.
Yes.
They didn't stop. They couldn't stop.
Yes.
The dream, the desire, the goal was for the next generation. Similarly, likewise, for us, I believe, we've lost that. Where do we really want to go? Their destiny.
Yes.
Let's change our perception.
Yes.
Let's not accept what's been given to us.
Yes.
Let's begin to look inside of us and decide, God bless me with this. How am I to use it? How can I enhance my family, my community, humanity? Make no mistake about it. It starts with a thought.
Yes.
And a powerful thought. And if you have the support of the most powerful source in the universe behind you,
Yes, sir.
don't care what system's in place.
That's right.
But we have to believe in who we are and what's been given to us.
Yes. You know,
So,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, but well, with you saying it like that, this is where I just know for sure that we're at a point where we need to talk to each other and get to understand what it is that allows us to have confidence in our potential. That says to me, I need not to be bothered about anything that used to get in my way before. Because they had no good intention for me. Whoever was trying to manage the life cycle that involved my ancestors years ago, they didn't have no good for them. But I'm living in a different day. And the idea of me carrying the burden of what other minds or other people or other systems wanted for me, I most times I don't understand why people can't hear that. Once I say that's no longer an influence because it has no strength anymore. Not for me. It may have a bothersome perspective for someone else, but I can't understand why someone cannot see that an individual like myself and others that's already been an exceptional example for me that says, hey, know where you want to go and use the criteria that's required for you to get there. And let that be your number one focus. For me to say to someone else, listen, because I believe and trust and live that out, no other source or power can influence where I'm trying to go. I don't understand why someone else can't see that. Now, if that is happening and that particular type of mind is not able to see that, then they need to see that they have more influence by the other system or the negative system than I have. It's not influencing me. So that's why tonight I'm just hoping that whoever has good intentions, whoever is looking to be the best they could be, whoever wants something that's worthy of them achieving because it represents the best of themselves, if they feel that way, all they need to do is want that, and there is help out there for them if they want it. Now, I can't understand why we don't accept that, particularly when we have trust and faith in us being as competitive as anybody else. And if we cannot arrive at that understanding, we're certainly been damaged. And that's why I have a lot of respect for my mentor that simply says to us as a people, not just to Cromwell Shakur, to us as a people, that we have been damaged goods and we need to find a way to remove whatever is stifling us in order for us to get along with life, get on with life, and do what's in our best interest. Are we smart enough to think about what's in our best interest and say, now let's sit down and move towards that interest? I don't know who's going to object to that. I'm sorry for anyone who doesn't see the value in that. That's why I felt so good when I heard my son today, man. When I'm saying to him, happy birthday, he's saying, Pop, man, I found myself, man. I never realized how much I was ignoring my own value.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And it's amazing. So when you come into that reality, into that understanding, you look back and you start shaking off some of the shackles.
Yes.
Because that's oftentimes what holds us back, right?
Yeah.
It's the conditioning. It's the conditioning. It's very subtle. I mean, you imagine the generation when our parents came through, what it was like. I was talking about this a couple of days ago.
Yes.
The struggle of our parents.
Yes.
And our grandparents. I mean, if they were around today and of all the progress that we've made in terms of material and education and the like,
yes,
they'd be flying. But we have missed that. Somewhere along the line, we forgot to pass on the struggle. To preserve that, because with no struggle, no progress.
No progress, that's right.
And so whilst we've been accommodating our people, now we're in a state where much of it is haywire, out of control. What has happened? And so the author in your monologue is speaking about, hey, change the perception. You're being influenced and not even totally aware of it. You just say, oh, this is society, this is modern times. Yeah, that may be part of it. But hold on to those values. Hold on to what has helped us to establish this society, our families.
Yes.
As difficult as it may appear, and it is difficult, don't get me wrong, so I'm not suggesting that I got it like that and life is so easy. No, it's a struggle. But it's every day we struggle for the spirit to be free.
Yes.
That's what we're wrestling with.
Yes. And
so I agree with you, I concur.
Yes.
There are a lot of like minds around here who want the same thing, who are well-wishers, who want nothing but the best.
Yes.
For themselves, for the family, for the community.
Yes.
And I think it's about the mechanism, the concept, if you will, the idea that will unite us.
Yes. Yes.
And so I listen up, I look out, because I think it's something evolving. As much as people may appear to be pessimistic, there are many people who are optimistic.
Yes.
There are many people who believe, listen, some things are occurring. Look at some of the young people what's transpired. Look how many of them want to protect the environment and give back to the homeless and the helpless.
Yes.
And so it's about resonating and connecting with that. So that, yeah, we can provide that level of guidance, and it may be just that they will teach us. Anyhow, I appreciate the conversation, appreciate the monologue. I'm going to get off the air and listen to other comments and be schooled as well. Let me my perception.
Let me say this before you go off air. My son, being where he's located, he texted and wanted you to know that you adequately explained exactly what he discussed to me earlier today, because he's listening in from England. And he said, man, he was just tickled to know how right on point you were in representing his thoughts or what he was trying to project to me. Yeah, he sent me that there just a couple seconds ago. See?
Well,
so,
we
go ahead.
Please let him know. We thank him and we appreciate him for his growth.
Yes.
And what he's realizing.
Yes.
Away from home, that level of maturity, that level of evolution.
Yes.
Yeah, we need that, and we need to hear that.
Yes.
Because that in itself is a form of inspiration. Anyhow, may God continue to bless you, your son, your family, your wife, and all.
Yes.
And best of luck in the future.
Likewise to you and yours. Good health and Godspeed.
Thank you.
The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. The lifestyle and its burden on the individual. The individual person today, and the demand on the individual's attention today make it very, very difficult for any individual to be in a situation to get help. I tell you, man, it's a blessing to know that we're living in a day and time where we have minds and directional thinking pointing towards these types of insights. We're not just talking about the past. We're talking about the influences of the past. That if and when we do not shake off those influences that was intended to see you and I never ever achieving the freedoms and the understanding to utilize that freedom, to use the freedom that we have today. I'm no longer somebody's slave. I'm free to project a future for myself and those connected with me and those that I am voluntarily associating with. I'm not forced to look down this path that we're sharing tonight. This is a volunteer action. And it's inviting those who are looking down that same path that's so achievable to have us to see our similarities and in fact be wise in our deliberations and knowing that we're looking in a good way towards a brighter future. That opens the door for us to have partnerships. Yes. Think about that for a little bit. those of us who are going down the same path, you know, because we're all free to go down the path we want to go. That's why I like the idea that a person only gets out of life what he puts in. You're going to be judged according to your record. When you want better for others and you want the good for others as you want the good for yourself, the Creator finds a way for you and I to have some unity. And where there's unity, there's strength. And what they say, you have to have first, before you start working together, you have to have an idea that is worth looking down in the same path towards. An idea. An idea that's reasonable and reachable. And when we set out to step by step achieve that goal and objective, what they say, the pathway to a mountain is one step at a time. One step at a time. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. Maybe I need to play a little bit of music here and hopefully maybe come back. You'll find it necessary to want to expand upon what we've already said, and even give something new based on what you have thought about since you've what I call internalized whatever we're supposed to think about.
Where is she? Come on back, peaceful. Oh, easy now.
I'm afraid of that.
I thank you. Caller, you're on Balance Matters. Caller, you're on Balance Matters. The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. I could never get enough of that song that I am so inspired with. Calling on Balance Matters.
Good evening. How are you this blessed evening?
I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful.
And I'm one of those that all for many of years listen to you. Like a lady came on a couple of weeks ago. I really don't have time. I'm going to show you how evil, how the devil works. I'm here listening to you, and all I hear is gunshots in the back of my house right now.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so I said, let me pick up and speak to this gentleman. But I'm going to get back to you, right? Because I just love your talk show. I didn't even know you. I feel for you. When you cry, I cry too. And I listen to everything when you talk about your family, your sons.
Yes.
It ain't me, personally, I will read out the purple, not red, a purple copy for you.
Wow.
I appreciate all what you do, what you say, how you speak. When you got an attitude with people that come on and contradict themselves over and over, I got an attitude too.
Yes.
Understand? When people when you're trying to explain something, they want to cut in your feet. I got an attitude too. Just the same way, I don't have the license, ride or drive, but I'm red, just walking. But otherwise than that, I just want to say thank you very so much.
Yes.
And you and your family have a blessed and peaceful Christmas. And like I tell people, every day might not be a good day, but every day is a blessing day. And their ears are God. Yes. Trust me. So one day I'm going to come on your talk show just for about 2 minutes and give you a little insight about me.
Yes.
Okay?
And
I'm a really young soldier because I'm one of Farrakhan's soldiers. See?
I hear you now.
I love me some Farrakhan, you hear me? They tell me nothing. I watch his 91st birthday. I get radio for everything when it comes. You say, hey, you listen to him? Well, you don't. That's your business. But people like him, tell me how you listen to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Why can't you all just listen to him?
Yes.
Because last time this man came here, Julian Hole had passed.
Yes.
That was the last time, and now he has spoken about the price, with so many things and I feel that we need to bring him back here again.
Mm-hmm.
I had the money, I wouldn't ask anybody, I just did it myself. Anyway, I want you, again, have a blessed evening, okay?
And I thank you very much for your encouragement and your support. And I want you to know that whenever you feel me like you do, it's because I see myself in people like you.
And me too. And guess what? And I be praying. I be like, get off the radio, man. Let this man talk. I be getting rid of sometimes. But thank you anyway. So,
thank you.
Like you said, even though we might not call him, but wouldn't know how many people just listen. My grandbaby, I said, I'm getting over Papa. Because you listen to talk show again. Yes. So then you get it. You be listening to the same little things too, okay? All right, Nana. Let me listen to the talk show. Look, let me write the date down for you on Tuesday from 7:30 to 9:30. Do not disturb. Okay? This is my little private thing. All right, I'm going to play a pop-up for you. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Have the rest of a great evening, dear. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. You're welcome.
The number is 297-1027. We're talking Balance Matters. Most people are suffering. Calling on Balance Matters.
Good evening, Brother Grumble.
Yes, good evening to you too.
I've only been listening maybe in the last 20 minutes.
Yes.
And I missed your monologue, but I did hear the brother speak wherein your son texted you to say
yes.
He was speaking for him.
Yes.
And I did hear you say also prior to that your son had sort of, I would say, in the biblical sort of text,
Yes.
concept or context, it sounds like the prodigal son. That's what I mean. The little bit that I heard you speak,
Yes.
that he spoke to you,
Yes.
and said that he had finally found his value.
Yes.
You know, because life is stories, and I was reminded, basically of just as I spoke to you just now. I said, maybe this is a situation similar to the prodigal son. That as youth we journey out and experience the world, and in some ways we not always carry the values that we've been taught, and in not doing so, or we do carry them, but we may not use them all the time, because society outside of the home, society is pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, yes.
Society is very powerful. It's very influential, and in today's society where you have technological advances, social media, they are very powerful instruments.
Yes.
And I was reading some literature just recently, and it was saying, for instance, AI, the influence that it's having even on people, so much so that it can create psychosis in some people. Because AI, because they have what they call it, the algorithms.
Yes.
Well, once they tune into your thinking, they give all that you think. In other words, they develop your thinking. They don't challenge your thinking. Once they get your taste, like say for instance, to make it clear, you like football, or I like football. I like football, and once you pull it up, they will start to send you more football.
Yes.
So I'm using that as an example to say that any subject that you sort of lean to, it would just send more of it to you.
Yes.
So it will develop a deeper connection to what you're looking at. It won't challenge you.
I hear you.
And therein lies the problematic sort of element of it.
Yes. I hear your point, man.
Yeah. So and it wasn't any studies done on it, but it was observations done by people in the field of psychology.
Yes.
So there's no conclusion to it, but it's observation. That it has a danger to it because it for instance some material, people like some dark material, meaning that negative, toxic.
Yes.
And the algorithms can send more of it to you. So, if you're going down a dark alley, the algorithms can send you further there. Because it's going to support what you punch in. It's going to support more of it.
Yes.
And I would imagine while adults are affected in that way, when you consider much of our younger generation is involved in it as well.
Yes.
And we have our different personalities. We've been influenced by different things.
Yes.
That sometimes what we're attracted to may not be what's best for us.
Yes.
And the algorithm is not going to challenge that. It's just going to send more of what you like. I find it very interesting reading it.
Yes.
But getting back to your son, getting back to the prodigal son. Again, another commentary was saying that a lot of our young people don't have what we have when we were young. And the brother that spoke to you earlier and made reference to your son responded.
Yes.
He sort of said it in a way that progress has been. He described, and I'm sure there's a broader a broader perspective on it, right? But he honed in on material and education.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, what we didn't hear, and I know he knows, I know he does, so I'm not holding him up, right?
Yeah.
What we didn't hear was values.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, and it's only my perspective, right, that a lot of progress has actually been built around that. It's been built around material and education, and that's fine. That's what's needed. But if the values that galvanized us,
yes,
haven't been passed on, then to me it might tend to sort of discount the materialism in the education.
Yes. Look. Before I let you go, right? I think your contribution deserves me to give you an idea of what my son said to me on the point on the point you just made. He said to me, he says, you know, in looking at the difficulty that he found himself in because he was overlooking all of the qualities that he had that he wasn't using, he was able to point to what was driving him to ignore what was the best in himself. He said, but as he got older, he realized that because of the stick-to-itiveness that he saw in me, he had a good reason to question what was responsible for me staying as consistent as he lived long enough to see. And he said, man, now that I'm